A film that moved me to tears is called Thank You for Playing. It's about an indie video game developer who learns that his 4-year-old son has terminal cancer. He decides to make a sort of interactive video game about it to sort of translate the experience of what that's like for him and his family. So as you can imagine, it's really sad, but there's also a lot of beauty in it, and there's a lot of hope as well.
The film that moved me to tears is Shoulder the Lion. The film tells the story of 3 artists suffering through a lack of sensory failure. It features a photographer who's gone blind, a musician who has tinnitus, which is kind of a constant ringing in his ear, and a former boxer turned painter suffering through brain damage. These stories are inherently sad on their own, but it's the filmmaker's artistic vision that makes this a total sensory overload and a wholly emotional experience. It really pays respect to these artists and their afflictions, as well as giving the audiences a kind of emotional overview and a unique look into their lives and their creative process.
So in Magic Island, Andrea, 10 years after his father's death, gets a surprise phone call saying that his father left him an inheritance, which comes as complete shock. But in order to claim the inheritance, Andrea has to travel back to Sicily, his ancestral village where his father died, to claim it. It's so beautiful, but yet he's wrestling with all of these uncomfortable feelings that I think are so universal for any adult child to deal with. It is so beautifully and lyrically done. It's palpable, and it's really documentary magic.
The Pawn is a really very inspiring story. It's about families that are coping with their daughters being kidnapped and murdered. It's extremely moving, the stories of these young women. But it's also that the families are fighting back. When I first saw this film, it was heartbreaking to see, but it's an essential story that's being told, and the stories that these young women are able to tell of their lives is remarkable.
Elephant's Dream is about 3 public sector workers in the Democratic Republic of Congo who are basically rebuilding their society after it's been marred by a lengthy civil war. This is one of those stunningly crafted films that is just incredibly poetic and moving and takes you right into the heart of people's hopes and dreams.